Hi there, I'm back. My name is Venetia. If you haven't watched me, I've only done a few videos. So, I have this deck that I'm really in love with. Most people probably won't like this deck, but I do. I'm going to pull 2 cards, so this is going to be a quick reading. It's for general purposes only. And I'm thinking that there's a very many group of people that are feeling this in general, maybe a community or a business or maybe even the world itself. I don't know. I just get very strong vibes with this and I relate to it. So I have 2 cards and I am going to read them from the new book so it makes more sense, and then I'll pull what my thoughts about these cards really are from that, because I want you to understand what they're supposed to mean and how I feel them, the difference. And I think my intuition is pretty on target with these as well. The first card I got was the Ten of Wands. Again, this deck is the unfinished business. Ten of Wands in general means the end of a battle, end of a hard time, difficult time. But when you look at this card, it's not your typical Ten of Wands, okay? She's holding a baby, and there are 9 other babies around her in a crib. I don't know if it's the same baby or if she's having a nightmare. I have no idea. So I'm going to read it from the book. But I don't get good feelings about this, even though it's the end of a difficult time. So the end of a difficult time is coming for all of us. As well as the Tower card. Most of the Tower cards, I think, except for my one deck, the Lightseers deck is different. The Lightseers deck tends to be more positive, I think, and tries to keep it positive. But the Tower is usually something's falling away, happens suddenly, you're not expecting it. You will be surprised, but it could be a good surprise or a bad surprise, because the card before it is a Ten of Wands saying the end of a bad time. I want to say it's probably more of a positive thing. It's a Tower that's coming, that maybe some change in your life that should have happened already but didn't, because you were comfortable or you didn't want to change, or there was just things going on that couldn't allow the change. But I also have the Wheel of Fortune. I always want to say, what goes up must come down. What goes down must come up. Right? I especially like this Wheel of Fortune because of the sun in the middle. And it looks like teamwork, 3 of them are trying to spin the wheel together. I know that's my mind, teamwork lately. Teamwork makes the dream work, but in the Wheel of Fortune, it goes full circle. What comes around goes around, right? So depending on where you are in that circle, I am going to read the Ten of Wands now, because it just scares me a little. Alright, it's a little lengthy, but I want to read it to you. Lackey's life, that's the name of the girl, marked by relentless challenges, began with a tragedy. Her mother's death during childbirth thrust young Lackey into adulthood prematurely. She assumed her mother's rules, nurturing her siblings with a resilience beyond her years. At 19, enticed by a man's promise of a brighter future, she found herself trapped in a cycle of motherhood, with each year bringing another child and an ever-growing list of responsibilities. Her husband's increasing absences paralleled the mounting demands at home. In her 20s, dreams of a different life were shelved, eclipsed by the relentless needs of her family. Funny how we just had an eclipse not too long ago. What did you eclipse? Time marched on, and as her children matured, Lackey glimpsed potential pathways to transform her life. She embarked on a journey of education. Each step forward met with a hurdle, an unexpected hill, a devastating flood, or a child's health crisis. And remember, she's had many children now. Despite these setbacks, Lackey persevered, her efforts often overshadowing those of her peers. Don't mind me, I'm having my tea tonight. My chamomile. I love my chamomile tea. One of my favorite cups. Tea. Yes, I got this in Maryland. One of my favorite cups. Anyways, back to the story here. As her children grew into adulthood, Lackey's burdens lightened, but the years of self-neglect and stress left their mark. Her health declined, yet she continued to prioritize others over herself. Does it sound familiar? It was only in the quiet reflection following her passing that those around her fully recognized the magnitude of her sacrifices. They realized the strength and love behind each act of care, each day of toil. Lackey, in her silent resilience, had laid the foundation for their brighter futures. Yes, the general message for the Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands speaks to a time in your life where you may feel overburdened, overwhelmed by responsibilities. This card serves as a reminder that while hard work and dedication are admirable, they must be balanced with self-care, willingness to delegate or release tasks that are not yours to bear. You may be carrying more than your fair share, either out of sense of duty or because of high personal expectations. The Ten of Wands encourages you to pause and assess your load, acknowledging that it's okay to ask for help or set down some of those burdens. Remember, managing your well-being is as important as fulfilling your obligations. This is a moment to reevaluate your priorities and lighten your load for a more balanced and sustainable path forward. What a lesson, right? So, many of us grew up working. I was part of a single mom family, and I was a single mom, so generational thing. I'm happy to say that that's not true for my children, and I'm happy that they're both happily married and been for a very long time right now. Well, my son isn't married yet, but I see them as married. The Tower, Major Arcana card, number 16. The summer breeze gently caressed a field of sunflowers, setting them into a soft, rhythmic dance beneath the midday sun. Amidst this serene scene stood the defunct water tower, its once pristine surface now a canvas of vibrant graffiti, historical testament to the town's youth. On one particularly splendid day, Ryan Alston, fresh from graduating at the valedictorian of the local high school, made his way to his tower. Clutching a can of spray paint, he was driven by the same urge that had inspired many before him to leave a personal imprint on the town that nurtured him. Okay, so he wanted to do what everybody else did. The water tower had woven itself into a town's folklore, seen as a beacon of hope for those seeking a dramatic turn in their fortunes. So, everybody did it all the time, passed through generations, and yet they still didn't know. Despite having secured a place at a prestigious university, he believed his life had more to offer. He always thought things could be better. The university, the car his parents gifted him, even the apartment near campus. Reaching the top, he envisioned myriad improvements to his already fortunate life. Uncapping his spray paint, he unleashed a stream of bright yellow paint onto the tower. With each stroke, his anticipation mounted, an electric energy building around him. As he focused on his future, nature had other plans. Unbeknownst to him, The sky had darkened and distant thunder grumbled, a forewarning. Ryan longed for change as he made his final stroke. A bolt of lightning answered his call. The change he sought was now irrevocably upon him. The tower's general message. The tower signifies a period of sudden and inevitable change, often experienced as dramatic upheaval or profound awakening. This card may initially bring a sense of shock or disruption, as it represents the collapse of familiar structures or beliefs. However, it is important to recognize that the tower's destruction paves the way for a necessary and ultimately positive transformation. This is a time to let go of old paradigms and to embrace and rebuilding process that follows. The tower reminds you that from the rubble of the old, new foundations can be laid for a more authentic and fulfilling path. Embrace this opportunity for growth, understanding that true stability comes from being adaptable and resilient in the face of change. So, Ryan wanted to make his mark on the tower, and he did. And Mother Nature had other plans for him. And he fell to his death. He was never happy with everything, but he never realized what he had and what foundation he already had been given by his parents. It's a good story. He could have ended it in a different way, and it would have been more positive, right? But when I'm looking at these cards that fall out together here, the Tower, the Ten of Wands, and the Wheel of Fortune, it strongly suggests a time to move forward. It's a time to let things go. And if you didn't eclipse things in your life when we had the last 3 eclipses, then let it go now. I say that a lot, let it go. There's a lot of things in my life I need to let go. And I'm working on that. As I sit here talking at 11 o'clock at night. Although these readings will be timeless, and they could mean something to somebody a year from now. I just want you to know that you have to be able to let things go. It's not always going to end your way. Not always going to be positive, but it will be what is best for you going forward. Because what is meant for you will never pass you by. It might take its time getting there, but it won't pass you by. So if something that's there you think is meant for you and it doesn't happen, it wasn't meant to be. The next card is the King of Pentacles. He's a sharp person. I always say he, but it could be a she, it could be the Capricorn it's related to, Earth sign. This is somebody who has their shit together, basically. Has their money in order, has their life in order, and they know what they want. Sometimes they're critical, maybe a bit too critical. Their thought processes are black and white. And they generally have heart, but they don't take no shit either. It's a good person to be by your side. It's a good person to come help you. If a person comes out of the woodwork looking to help you grow, help you live, show you how to do something, learn it. Take the learning. Because then when the Fool comes, you'll be ready to take the leap into a new opportunity, into growth, and a much more sturdy life. I say sturdy, I mean stronger foundation. And eventually, a little more time, you make it to your 10 of Cups. That's today's story. You have to let go of what doesn't serve you anymore. Even if you think you can fix it, change it. If you don't let it go, it will be forced out of your life, i.e. the tower. Sometimes you just need to face the truth and move forward. I move forward. I don't have a choice. We really don't have choices that way. We are predestined to live a certain life and do things here that are guided by Jesus himself. Or whichever God you believe in. I want to say that out loud because I want you to know whatever you believe in is what's important. It could be a God, it could be Jehovah, it could be whatever. I believe in Jesus, and I know that the magician, he's going to come in real quick. He's going to give you an offer. He, she, doesn't matter. Going to give you an offer. And you ain't going to have time to think. Just do. So before this offer comes in, think about what you don't have for 5 seconds. And then remember to make a list of all the things you are grateful for and thank the dear Lord above, because you have it all. You have so much more than you realize. You are a powerhouse. You are strong. You are beautiful, and you can do it. So when he comes, she comes, say yes. And I'm going to bed now, so you all have a wonderful night's sleep.